We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is Arizona Gunslinger Chipotle-Habanero pepper sauce. Smoking hot. Not really. The heat you can eat. Yeah. Not in love with their slogans. And let's take a look at the ingredient panel. All right, Hal. We've got habaneros, jalapenos, vinegar, chipotle peppers, and salt. Coming out of Mesa, Arizona. Now, this is you can see it's sticky. It's liking to stay up here in the neck for some reason. And let's take a look here. It does come with a restrictor cap, which might be why it's staying up there in the neck. And you can see it's a fairly thick sauce. Take a look at it here. Flows a little bit. Not bad. It actually reminds me a bit of ketchup. I love this color. I wish it was slightly darker, but I do. I love this color. I think this color is great. All right. Tally ho. Very, very pepperish. Calling it a pepper sauce is quite smart. You get touch of flavor from the habanero in there. You get a lot from the jalapenos though, which is kind of odd to me that they list habanero as the first. The chipotle though, I think you can have chipotle and jalapeno working together. I mean, obviously, right? The habanero though, I'm happy to say isn't a huge component of this flavor. Heat is very minimal on this. I actually could do with quite a bit more of the chipotle flavor, to be honest with you. I kind of wish they would have maybe considered throwing a little bit of powder in there. And I'll tell you why in a second here. But vinegar is, you can kind of catch the vinegar. This is a nice simple sauce. This is a quality sauce. I do like this one, but the reason I started to chase, I was chasing the Chipotle habanero for a while. And the reason why is I went to a restaurant and they had a squeeze bottle of Chipotle habanero. And anytime I see some sauce types that at the time I wasn't super familiar with, I get excited. And of course, those days are kind of few now, few and far between really. But I got excited and I said, all right, I want to get some more of this. So Adobe Milling at the time only sold really big bottles. I don't know if they're even around anymore, but that sauce was easily, that was all of a sudden the standard then for what I wanted, not only in Chipotle habanero, but I had a new sauce category, but also in the Mexican style sauces. That was it. That was what I wanted. And that might be what I go back to chasing this year, because the previous standby Mexican sauce that I had is not anything I can get anymore. So this one I picked up because I wanted to do a video on it. Of course, I've done a written review for this, and you can read that as well, and the Adobe Milling as well. But this one just didn't quite get there. To me, this is tending too much a little bit away from the Chipotle. It's a good sauce. It's a good quality sauce. It feels good in your mouth. It tastes good. It just does not have the smokiness that Adobe Milling did, and I really wanted to replicate that. So, kind of the backstory there. This sauce, though, I've had a few bottles of this, and it is an excellent Mexican sauce. Again, I've got some Del Taco here, so we're gonna go with a regular taco. I also got some of their grilled chicken habaneros. Habanero plays a pretty substantial component. I would have done better, I think, for me with the roles reversed, whereas habanero was not quite as prominent in the ingredient list as the chipotle was. However, everybody's got to have their twist, right? So it's still a very enjoyable sauce for me. And let's sock it to it here. So we're gonna, you guys can see over there. There's the beef taco. Here's the grilled chicken habanero. They're going to go with the beef first. It's a really nice, flavorful sauce, but not having the low amount of chipotle that it does, I can feel it kind of trending away from the smokiness here. It's getting lost in this taco. It's good, but it's a little bit more chipotle drift than I would have liked. I really don't understand why there's a restrictor cap on this. This stuff is honestly too thick for that. In fact, maybe I should just take that off. First thing you should do if you get this, drop the restrictor cap. Completely not necessary. I don't, you know, they add extra expense to this, and I don't understand why. That aside, let's take a shot here at our grilled chicken habanero. Now, this is a good test. I don't like Del Taco's grilled chicken at all. The habanero sauce I don't think helps it that much. Let's see what this does. Yeah, nope. It's still pretty hopeless, but I thought since this one was a little bit heavier on the habanero side, that might work out, but honestly more than a bit on the unpleasant side. I think I would rather have the sauce by itself than with that habanero. We should talk about the heat, namely that there really isn't any. This is very, very mild. I would say it's probably a 1. Maybe maybe if you kind of keep eating it and let it build up a little bit, you might get to a 2, but very, very moderate eat. This, I think, is actually a pretty good introduction, though, to that type of sauce. I think it does well as a Chipotle habanero introduction. I just don't know that it... Trying to have it as a Mexican-style sauce, it just doesn't hit enough on the notes for me. So that's why this one has not ever become the sauce in that role. It just doesn't... Not only does it not go up to the gold standard of the adobe milling, it just doesn't hit enough of the right notes for me. I'm not a super big fan of habanero flavoring. And this one is definitely a bit closer to habanero forward than Chipotle forward. I guess if that makes sense. I'd even say it's more towards habanero jalapeno, in fact. Even just like a jalapeno to me are okay. Like jalapeno is a great flavored pepper. Habanero, to me, not so much, but it's worthy. It's a worthy sauce, and as far as Mexican style, I think this is definitely well worth anybody's look. It's solid. I'll put it that way. It's solid. I would rather have this than nothing, certainly. This just isn't. When I try to have my standby list, I'm really trying to have something that not even necessarily is top of the market, just something that I can rely on, that I can have day in, day out. Again, standby. It's just a solid sauce I can count on to be consistent and flavorful and excellent. And I realize that does sound like qualities for a top of the market, but even like some of my picks aren't necessarily top of the market for stuff like using the boar's head as a pizza sauce, that red jalapeno sauce. The red jalapeno sauce I don't use for anything else because I don't think it's a very good tasting sauce by itself or when it's kind of the focus point. However, it does meld very, very well in that setting. The togarashi sauce that I used to use for noodles, again, by itself, not great. But in the setting of ramen, it was fantastic. So sometimes sauces will find a niche for themselves. This one definitely is not among those. It like a Mexican sauce has to be general enough. Those are fairly narrow applications. And I don't really eat a lot of those two foods especially anymore, so those will go a long ways. Like the bourbon infused Chipotle habanero from Cajon's. You guys saw that one. Hopefully you've seen that one. If not, go back and see it. I use that for a grilling sauce. I think it's good by itself. I don't like it with a lot of other stuff, especially well. But on the grill, it is superb. So, I mean, and that's kind of what a matter of it is just trying to find, where stuff fits and how to keep it in your standby list. Like, I can count on that for grilling. I can count on the other one for pizza. Count on the other one. Well, can't count on it anymore because I don't make it anymore that I've been able to find. But I could count on that one for ramen. And that's really what I want in a taco sauce. Just something I can count on. Again, that's kind of going to be a big part of the search for 2020. I know I've done already a lot of Mexican-style videos. Some of those are just for support for the written reviews. But that is going to kind of... I would say there's not really... It's more past the back burner. It's probably up to a front burner. I wouldn't say it's the focus necessarily for 2020. But it definitely is a big part. It is the one need that I am going to be trying to fill for 2020 for sure. And it always is a challenge for me, as regular readers of the blog would affirm. Anyway, though, got a little rambly there, but we're now to the end of the Arizona Gunslinger Chipotle Habanero Pepper Sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.